time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. Welcome to season 3 of the podcast, guys. It is here. It's 2022. I know I had an episode last week with Mr. Dave Guerrero Sr. Well, it was actually 2 weeks ago. I think it came out on January 8th, somewhere in there. Anyway, took last week off. Just needed a breather, we'll say. I've said this for a few weeks now with the podcast that I'm going to eventually need a break here, and I might, and I may need more and more breaks. I want to do this show weekly. I really do. But the busier life gets, sometimes you just don't have the time, especially finding time to record with guests. I am going to try to have more guests on here on Fridays still. But for now, the goal is to get out at least one episode a week. It could, since it is the NFL playoffs, and that's kind of what I'm talking about today mostly. But just with the podcast and moving forward, it is season 3. It's a new year and everything. I want to put out episodes. I really do. I'm not giving up. I'm not waving the white flag like some teams have done here in recent weeks. But I am just communicating to the audience out there that, this thing has been a lot of fun. It started out 5 days a week, then went to 3 days a week. Now we're 2 days a week. And maybe I'll find a spark, a re-energy. I don't know. But the football season has been long. It's been grinding. It's been grueling. I've laughed. I've cried. As you can see on YouTube in my Rams apparel here, I'm in a decent mood with the Rams having a playoff victory Monday night over the Arizona Cardinals, 34-11, the first playoff victory at SoFi Stadium, Hollywood Park, if you will. So a big moment there for Los Angeles sports. But there's plenty to talk about those Rams. The previous week, of course, against the dreaded San Francisco 49ers, who are the hottest team in football right now. I want to talk about their opponent in the playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys, who as far as recent relevance goes, just aren't anything other than a fancy number, a high-ranking team, a popularity contest. It's the single star on their helmet is not a logo; it is a rating, if you will. The 1 star. Good morning, Valerie Burns. Anyway. I'm in a decent mood today. Decent mood indeed. Lots to cover. And again, back to the podcast. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do this. Some good news at work. That's kind of why I've been not around the past week or so. Good news coming. So my schedule will be changing, but I will continue in some ways to try to get this podcast out weekly, maybe every couple weeks. Maybe it won't have as many guests. I am going to try, but my one promise I do have for you guys is come August, in the month of August, I am going to start up a new podcast with a new logo, new title, new everything that will be strictly Rio Hondo Prep football related. We will do exactly what we did this fall on the Get Home Safe podcast. We will have interviews with coaches, with players. We will preview games. We will recap games. We will talk a little bit about the history of the program and just cover it like we are ESPN. Well, ESPN's kind of a bad example these days. They kind of don't cover a whole lot of sports and such. But anyway, looking forward to this. It's a few months away, 8 months away, 7 months away, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's where we got most of the feedback from. And I think there's a lot more people out there who want to hear about Rio Hondo Prep football and the current success of the program and the history and the fan base and the alumni to chime in and give their thoughts as well with the phone calls and messages and such. Just the interaction, I think, has been great. And I'm looking forward to that. There's some people out there who like listening to my random opinions and my Ram fanhood, of course, but there's a lot more with the other way. So I'm not saying the Get Home Safe pod is going away by any means. It'll just probably be less frequent, and especially in August when it's high school football time for Rio Hondo. So I'm very excited about this. There might even be a few episodes prior to the season, just building it up. But for now, all we can do here on this beautiful Tuesday morning is to celebrate the Rams playoff victory. Sorry, the Los Angeles Rams playoff victory. I always want to include that city. As you can see, giant LA on my chest and my hat up here for you alleged LA sports fans. So let's talk first about the Rams' dominant performance on Monday night. Very good win, jumped out to a 21-0 lead, led by the defense. And, you know, there's a lot of hype all year about Kyler Murray. He's changing the game. He's different than everybody else. Yeah, he is. He's talented. He can throw the ball. But when he gets up against a really good defense, especially one that's seen him 3 times, you could definitely see, you know, and it wasn't just him, it was the entire team. They were overwhelmed from the get-go. And defensively, the Rams really took it to the Cardinals. They couldn't get a first down. Sacked Murray early, a couple of interceptions, that dreaded pick 6 in the end zone where Kyler Murray started to play playground ballers to just throw the ball up as he's getting tackled for a safety. That was pretty embarrassing. He knows that, of course, but that really was the backbreaker and the big nail in the coffin, if you will, for the Rams to go up 21-0 just before halftime. And in watching the game, I will argue that the Rams left a lot of plays out there. I mean, the little thing, the 3rd and 1 where they can't get a yard, or again, they go to this empty set for some reason on short yardage plays. After running the ball, you get 4 yards, you get another 3 yards. Hey, let's spread them out and throw it now. No, stop it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Anyway, I'm no genius. Sean McVay is, and well, Kyle Shanahan is, but we'll get to that. So just a very, I would say, complete win. What I was pleased with was that the Rams ran the ball. They ran it early and often. And what can you say about Cam Akers? Ram Akers, baby, to see him back, the second-year player who had an incredible rookie season last year, tears his Achilles in July, works his tail off to be able to come back in the same season. Yes, play a little bit in week 18 against the Niners, and then to play in the playoff game. His presence was felt. I love Sony Michel, powerful runner that has been a godsend for the Rams in their injury-ridden running back room. But, you know, Darrell Henderson's great, but you just see a difference. Sony Michel's a power back, man. That guy fights for every yard. And then Cam Akers just looked absolutely explosive in the playoff game against the Cardinals. So kind of that 2-headed monster with Akers and Michel is something to be excited about. You almost forget about the Rams passing game and Cooper Kupp, of course. And, you know, Odell Beckham Jr. has been a pleasant surprise. I was not happy when they signed him because he's been a cancer everywhere he has gone. But, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with the people around you. And so far, Odell hasn't gone Antonio Brown on us. But you know, I think it matters who's in the room. I think it matters that, you know, guys like Von Miller, now Eric Weddle, veteran guys, even a guy like Jalen Ramsey, who's kind of a knucklehead at times. These are guys who are leaders, who are guys that know what a common goal. You know, it takes all the moving parts. So Odell Beckham has not been the problem child yet. Again, winning helps that, but he's getting the ball. He got his touchdown reception early in the game on Monday night. Heck, he threw a pretty nice deep ball on that double pass play, you know, that he hit Cam Akers up the sideline. Who knew Odell Beckham throws a better deep ball than Dak Prescott and maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't hammer Jimmy G because he's beaten my Rams every time he's played, and except for a few mistakes, you know, he looks pretty good himself. But yeah, Odell Beckham with more passing yards on one play than a lot of NFL quarterbacks in the playoffs. I'll leave it there. So anyway, Cooper Kupp is still amazing. They were clearly keying on him Monday night. And Stafford only threw the ball 17 times. I think a few more with penalties and such. Or maybe he threw it 16 times because of Well, did he get that was a backwards pass. So Beckham with 1-for-1 on the big 40+ yard completion, and then Stafford, all the pressure on him to finally win a playoff game. He can't do it. 0-3. I mean, for him to take the Detroit Lions to the playoffs 3 times is a miracle, in my opinion. So the fact that he had never won a playoff game before, I wasn't buying all that into. But the offensive output. They did settle for 3 a few times. They did not score when after a turnover one time. That was disappointing. But all around, the punting, Johnny Hecker was phenomenal. Special teams really good. And a pretty complete win for the LA Rams on Monday night over the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are done by any means. I think they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Kyler Murray can put up points in a hurry, and I just think the inexperience there from him and Cliff Kingsbury obviously showed a little bit on Monday night early and often. And with it being LA's first playoff game at home in the new stadium, I don't think they were going to let down the Los Angeles fan base there in the first big playoff game in the new stadium the new SoFi Stadium, Hollywood. It'll always be Hollywood Park to me, but and I'm not calling, by the way, I'm not calling Staples Center crypto cave currency whatever arena. No, it's Staples. I don't like change. I don't like when the Home Depot Center changed its name. Now it's third time. It was what was it? I don't even know what it is now. Where the Galaxy and the Chargers used to play and whatever. I like whatever the original name is. That's what it is to me. It'll always be the Honda Center. It's always going to be the Pond. All right. And some names are better than others. The Pond. Okay. Dodger Stadium, Staples Center. I know that's a corporate sponsor too or whatever, but still it's Staples Center. How many times has Madison Square Garden changed its name? You know what I mean? I don't like this stuff. The Coliseum, they were trying, it's like American Airlines Field or something now. I understand bills have to be paid, but come on, can we stop with all these name changes and such? Like, I hate that stuff. It drives me crazy. Change a name. I don't like change. Not all change is good. Okay. Changing from losing to winning, that's good. But renaming of venues and stuff, I'm like, well, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Oh, money. Oh, okay. I get it. Anyway, it's Staples Center. It will always be Staples Center. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, the LA Rams. So a playoff win. And what I want to talk about now, and I'm going to brag about the Rams all day because they go to the defending champs this coming Sunday. Things aren't looking good. It's still Brady. They have yet to beat Brady in a postseason, having lost to him in two of his 7 Super Bowl victories. Doesn't look good. They did beat Tampa Bay at home in week 3 this year, but it's a tall task. Brady and the Bucs are looking really good. They got rid of the cancer in Antonio Brown, and it's still the defending Super Bowl champions. Now, if you want to be a champ, you got to beat the champ, right? And that's like a fighter and in boxing and such. But this is a tall task. It really is. And I'm realistic about it. Can the Rams do it? Well, of course. They already did it in week 3. And the Buccaneers have put together quite a team, quite a season. And I will say that, arguably the Rams have some new pieces that weren't there in week 3, Von Miller, OBJ and such. So who knows? It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Worst case scenario, Rams get blown out and the season's over. It would be a very tall task at this point for the Rams to what they would have to run through. They'd have to beat Tom Brady, then probably Aaron Rodgers, and then probably Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, whoever ends up on the AFC side of the Super Bowl. All right. Those are 3, whoever the quarterbacks are, it's a tall task ahead, but one game at a time. All that matters is this Sunday at high noon here on the West Coast. Very much excited for that time slot and for the game itself. And, I have nothing but respect for Tom Brady. He's the man in the arena and has beaten the Rams twice in Super Bowls. And hopefully the Rams got one in them. They've played the Bucs in the playoffs a few times before and have beaten them. So we'll see. It's exciting times here. Got to take down the champs. At least put up a fight. That's all I can say. Take it to the judges' scorecards, if you know what I mean. Let's make this thing close. I think with the Rams defensively, they got a shot. I really do. Again, you build around defense. Aaron Donald, great gains up front. Von Miller. The secondary worries me. Eric Weddle's back, but he hasn't played football in 2 years. So if Brady starts picking apart the Rams defense quickly with quick passes, then they could be in trouble. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a football game. Speaking of the Man in the Arena on ESPN Plus, fantastic. Again, it took me a while to get to, but the Tom Brady documentary, basically that each episode goes over every Super Bowl he's been in. So yeah, there's 10 episodes. I haven't watched the most recent one, but did watch the one where he beat my Rams, of course. And each one is phenomenal. There's a special guests brought on, his old teammates, Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi. Man, what studs those guys were. Randy Moss, his trainer, Alex Guerrero. Every episode has like 2 or 3 special guests that feature kind of going through talking about the year itself. Leading to the Super Bowl. There's one episode with his 3 sisters, which is pretty good. Much like what was it, Hard Knocks I was watching with the Colts, who I was a believer in, and it fell short before the playoffs. The Man in the Arena, fantastic on ESPN Plus. A must watch. Go check it out. Even if you hate Brady, even if you hate Tom Brady, which I don't truly understand, check it out. It's really good watch. Peyton's Places, it's kind of stuff like that, but this is very serious and in depth into the Tom Brady journey. If you guys haven't had your fill of Mr. Tom Brady, so Rams at Bucks Sunday. Can't wait for that game. Now, talking about the Rams, I want to talk about expectations. I think expectations are everything. Expectations on that first date. Do you go into it thinking, man, this is going to be everything? Or are you kind of open-minded? Like, all right, we'll see what happens here. All right. And then sometimes we go into that first date. It's been a while for me, but going to that first date almost in a desperation mode. Like, man, I really need something to go finally go well here. I use dating because I don't have a ton of experience, but I think it's something that we can all relate to, if you will, kind of that awkwardness. It's something we all have to do, I guess, at some point in life. And that we all have wins and losses, we'll say. So I think it's relatable. But the concept of expectations, I'm a Rams fan. I've been one my entire life. They've always been the LA Rams, even when they were in Missouri for 20 something years. But so I know expectations. I know for a lot of years, the Rams played football like the Jets, we'll say, like the Bengals, like the Lions. Some of those teams have played better ball in recent years, but there's just certain organizations that have just been just awful over the years. The Jags probably come to mind. They're probably the most inconsistent team, or the worst. No, they're very consistent. One of the worst teams of all time, organizations, we'll say, even though almost got to a Super Bowl a couple times. It's all about expectations. When you go into a season, what are your expectations? Me as a Rams fan, it was always, man, can they just get to the playoffs? Now that is kind of a consistent thing. For me, a happy season is a playoff victory. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here going, well, Super Bowl, that would be incredible. A couple of years ago, got there, couldn't score a touchdown, very disappointing. But to go from where they were in 2016 to coming back to LA, 4 wins, and to be in the Super Bowl 2 years later was pretty phenomenal. But expectations are everything. And I am a realistic expectation guy. If the Rams got a couple playoff wins, I would be ecstatic. Through when the Rams finally do lose, I'm going to get phone calls and texts and ha, and this and that. And I'm going to be satisfied. I'm not going to say content, but I'm going to be satisfied. A good season. It was fun because there's 31 teams who are going to fall short of the ultimate prize. That's just how it is. There's 31 other millionaire players and coaches and staffs of people that are working towards the ultimate goal of a Super Bowl championship. So I understand. I'm realistic about my expectations. All right. When you had like the second year, the year after the Rams go to the Super Bowl, high expectations. They'll get back. I know they will. They don't even go to the playoffs. So I'm bringing this up because even if you're not a Rams fan, you're a fan of somebody, you're a fan of some team. And what are your expectations? And that brings me to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that star on their helmet, I've talked about it. It's a rating. It's not a logo anymore. And anybody who's been in a Lyft or Uber knows you have to rate your driver or rate your passenger. In my case, and most people are 5 stars, but there are some 1-star people out there. Let's be honest. And the Dallas Cowboys, look, they are one of the iconic franchises in the NFL. All right. There's no mistake about that. They are one of the most popular teams in the NFL. And you could argue maybe that's because people just like winners. And at one time, the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls left and right, especially in the 90s. And they were just popular. America's team, which I can't stand that description of them. But expectations are everything with the Cowboys. They spend the most money. They're in the middle of the country. They're the most popular. They're also probably the most hated. All right. All of those badges of honor usually mean a very successful franchise. And all you hear from some people who love to live in the past is about the banners. 5 Super Bowl banners, 5 of them. I was like, okay, cool. Very, I said this before, I'll say it again. Navy used to win national championships in football too. Like, it's all about recent relevance. I've said recent relevance a ton of times before. Let's look at the other organizations who have multiple Super Bowls. Pittsburgh Steelers, do they put together playoff wins quite often? I would say, yeah. They're probably on the downside of it now with Big Ben leaving and everything, but have either been in the playoffs a lot or won a playoff game or two, played in 3 Super Bowls, I believe, since in the 2000s era. It's now 2022. You want to go all the way back to the 90s, mid 90s, kind of when the Cowboys, after their 3 titles in 4 years, we can do that. I'm just using the year 2000 as kind of a generic starting point. But it's been 26 years since the last Cowboys Super Bowl. And in that time, Dallas has won 4 playoff games. And it's not just the losses that have just been abysmal. And it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. Anything can and usually does happen. Again, it's other good football teams you're playing. But the expectations for the Cowboys every year, win the Super Bowl. All right. So I want to look at other teams who have kind of multiple Super Bowls, who are kind of those iconic teams you think about. Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they got 6, right? They played in 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, the 2000s and beyond. They've won 2 of them. Green Bay Packers, and they've played in that 1 Super Bowl, but they won in 2010, but they've been in the conference championship game almost every year, it seems like. I know they fall short too. All right. San Francisco 49ers, it pains me to say it, but 5 Super Bowls themselves, 4 with Joe Montana, 1 with Steve Young. Okay, you could be like, yeah, there's a comparison right there, history-wise. However, if you look at the Niners, they've been in 2 Super Bowls. Once with Colin Kaepernick, the great social justice warrior, and then a couple of years ago with Jimmy G, losing two tough Super Bowls. They've been relevant. They've been in it. The Denver Broncos, who've won, what would that be? 3 Super Bowls, I believe. They've played in a lot of Super Bowls in their past, right? They lost 3 before they won their 2 with Elway, and then they've won. Let's see, there's one with Denver with Peyton Manning and such. But again, they have been in Super Bowls in recent years. I say recent, I say 10, 20 years, whatever. Dallas hasn't been close. They haven't been close. The closest was probably against the Packers with the Des Bryant, he caught it game, right? In the divisional round, Tony Romo. The Dallas Cowboys have huge expectations, but never quite deliver. And that's not to say you can't have high expectations. That is important. But this idea that Dallas is this elite franchise and scary and always a competitor. There have been years where they haven't made the playoffs when they had pretty good teams. And playing in the NFC East, are you kidding me? You play the Giants, the Redskins, and the Eagles twice a year. Those are usually where they get most of their wins. So the Dallas Cowboys' inability to be successful in the playoffs, Matt, they have 5 Super Bowl. Okay, I understand. Yes. Way back when all of our TVs were like big giant boxes and we had to turn the channel and ESPN was only 1. There was no 2 in news and you and all that stuff. A lot has changed. I have respect for the Cowboys. I really do. I would much rather see them win than the San Francisco 49ers, than the Las Vegas Raiders, as far as teams I despise. But Jerry Jones is way too involved as an owner and a GM. He's up there in age. This all starts at the top. And I want to get into the final play in the Cowboys 49er playoff game from Sunday. And it is absolutely embarrassing to me that a billion-dollar franchise doesn't know simple details that go into a play. You think you have it all figured out. You think we've practiced this. We practiced it. We know that we have time to spot the ball. You ran a play with 14 seconds that you knew had to be executed absolutely perfectly, and everything else outside of your control really to go perfectly for you to get the spike off. And of course it was, 2nd and 1, Dallas, 50-yard line or something. They run a quarterback draw basically. And Dak did not slide early enough. He tried to get 5 extra yards. He goes down. Okay, boom. You watch the umpire, George, I believe. Roman George, last name George. Busting, hustling from the back. What does Dallas do? They put the ball down. They go to and get into formation because they're trying to hurry and spike it. Dallas, you should know, if you've put all the thought and details into this play that you say you've done over the past few months, where the official is coming from. Yet you guys line up, put the ball down, and then you block the ball with multiple 300+ pound men plus Dak Prescott. He's trying to get around you guys to spot the ball to do his job in a timely manner, and he absolutely did it in a timely manner. You guys did not have the matter of time to do what you did. And if you wanted to run that play, if you wanted to be successful, the presence of mind to, when you go down, get up, look for the official, and have a clear path for him coming in. These are little details that you should have thought about. But no, it's the ego. It's the ego of the professional athlete sometimes, the professional coach that I have a little experience with, nowhere near this level, minor league baseball mostly. But it's just this ego of we're everything. Everyone bows to us. No, there's a process to the game. That is, to me, it's not about respecting the officials. That was not respecting the game itself. To think that everyone's going to stop what they're doing and just serve you. Absolutely incredible. I sat on my couch laughing, just laughing, because I saw it happen. As soon as they ran the play, I go, umpire's got to get there. And sure enough, he got there and they're blocking his way. He has to get in. He bumps Dak Prescott down and he grabs the ball. It's like you wanted things to go perfectly on this play, yet you didn't set yourself up you didn't set yourselves up for the play to go perfectly. And then you want to blame the refs. Ooh, real original. 14 penalties, Dallas? 7 of those pre-snap? Yeah. Those refs, man. Oh, those refs. I got news for you. Of the 3 teams on the field, the worst one was not the guys in stripes. It was not a good weekend for officiating in the NFL. I'll say that. All right. Sloppy performances all around. That Raider Bengal game was pretty rough. A lot of penalties, I think, overall. Dallas and the Niners, a lot of penalties. But you know what? Honestly, most of them were there. I didn't like a couple holding calls. kind of in the middle, but the hands to the face. It wasn't DeMarcus Lawrence. Who was it? The defensive holding late in the game where he just grabbed a lineman and threw him down. Yeah, that was that. Those refs. How could they see that? How could they make that call? Was there a dumber play from the weekend than that one? Every team just sits there all the time crying, the refs are against us. Us, our team. They don't want Dallas to really. The NFL doesn't want Dallas to win to be successful. Yeah. Nice try. Speaking of nice tries, Raiders, nice try. Very nice try. Rough season, I know. I love Derek Carr. I really do. I wish he wasn't on that team in the black and silver. The streets were safe here in Los Angeles for about 3.5 hours. It's kind of peaceful time with, all Raider fans inside watching the games. And then, crime is back on the rise since then. However, I love you, Derek, but for God's sake, last play of the game, and it's 4th and goal from the 8, and you throw the ball to the 2-yard line. How this happened? How millionaires, how guys make this much money with decisions like that will never cease to amaze me. Last play of the game, you have to get in the end zone, you throw the ball to the 2-yard line. And it's not even a play where the guy is like on the move towards the goal line, like on a slant or something. I know there's other elements, but it's just a bad look. Derek, come on. Derek has done more with less this year and with more drama than anyone else has had to do. So I applaud Derek Carr and his season. Rich Pisaccia, great name, by the way. I hope you do get the job because I think you've done a phenomenal job. All Raider hatred aside. But it was good to see the Bengals win their first playoff game in 31 years. They have 1/4 as many wins as the Cowboys now in that time frame. Anyway, where was I? Cowboys. Yes. Cowboys. And then this blame the refs crowd. Okay, look at every team has something to gripe about the officiating. Every team. If every team is saying the refs are out to get us, every team says that. Every fan base. It's like, no, you're not that important. No one sits in a meeting room and says, hey, Rams, hey, Cowboys, hey, no, we're going to screw this team. No, it's a weird game. I used to know the term of what the football shape was, the spheroid something. It bounces weird. Crazy things happen in a game, especially when you put people out there who have to make decisions, not just officials, but players, coaches, which we saw. All right. And I used to really like Dak Prescott. I thought he always said the right things. When he made the mention about the fans throwing trash on the field, hey, that we shouldn't be doing that. And then they said, well, they were throwing it at the refs. And he says, all the power to him then, or something along those lines. Dak, you're better than that. I think you are. Maybe you're not. That is not what a leader does. That is not what the face of a franchise does. Someone who's making $40 million a year, by the way. I think he made $75 million this last year with all the signing bonuses and everything. So yeah, another $75 million for another playoff loss. That a lot of it is on him. So Dak, you want to point the finger at someone? Why don't you point the finger at yourself for the interception, for not executing properly that final play, for not being able to throw the ball downfield, for having 7 points through 3 quarters into the 4th quarter? Yeah, let's point the finger on no, but if fans threw trash at players for playing bad, that would be reprehensible. But we're mad at officials. We're angry. We didn't get a chance at a Hail Mary that we probably would have not. We couldn't stop the 49ers all day. We never led. Yeah, it's the refs' fault. Yeah, it's the referees. They're out to get you. They're sitting right now plotting who they're going to get next. The game of football is very difficult to officiate. All right. I've never officiated it at that level, but it's difficult. And the officiating hasn't been great. I would say a lot of the plays that the calls that have been thrown were there, but still it's just kind of been a sloppy process, and hopefully it improves. But that is nothing to do with why the Cowboys lost. And Mike McCarthy to sit up there and who has been the worst clock manager of the season this year. He's like, he doesn't understand like what the giant gold numbers are, like counting down and like how to do that stuff, I guess. I don't know. But if Cowboy fans were honest with themselves, and I know not many of them are, my good friend Fred Montablanco, he's an honest Cowboy fan. I'll say that. He's an honest Cowboy fan. Love you, Fred. The audacity of people, the ego, we're going to win because we're the Cowboys, or the NFL's against us. Look in a mirror. Mirrors still work. I don't agree with everything Colin Cowherd says, especially in recent years. He's kind of going a little too far out there for me. But one of his best quotes ever was, "Hey, mirrors still work. Use them sometime. Look internally. Look out at all the noise. Control what you can control." Dallas didn't do that on the final play of the game. They didn't do it in the post game after the game. I have no sympathy for him. Again, I'm sitting here trying to be somewhat. I can't even do it. I can't even say it. What's the word where you, so sentimental, not sentimental, sympathetic. See, I have no sympathy in my heart for anything. I'm trying to be a little understanding of the Cowboy loss and everything. But I can't with actions like that after the game and just complaining and just the ego of maybe you're not the elite franchise you think you are just because you spend a bunch of money and, the Yankees are the Yankees because they're the Yankees. They keep winning. I haven't won a World Series in a few years, but still, the Lakers, they are what they are. But maybe who would be comparable to Dallas? The Red Sox for years, iconic franchise, but couldn't get over the hump, right? And they finally did, and they put together quite some success. And the Yankees are kind of in that downward spiral, but when they have so many world titles, they just talk a big game. So to continue to be elite, you have to be in the discussion at the end of the year. All right. I know you went 12-5, Dallas. I know you're supposed to win games and you got paired up against the Niners, the hottest team in football. But you're running out of excuses. Every year there's something. Oh, Jason Garrett. Okay, he's gone. Well, Tony Romo can't win playoff games. Okay, he's gone. Well, Dak Prescott, he just needs an offensive line. Okay, he seems fine. He needs a running game. Ezekiel Elliott. Is there a miss? By the way, are there missing persons signs of around Dallas of where Ezekiel Elliott has been? Anybody seen filed a missing persons report for Ezekiel Elliott, Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Highest paid running back in the National Football League, Mr. Show Off every time he gets the first down? Anybody seen him? I love when egos and all the show off crap just disintegrates. I love it. Yes, I'm the old man who doesn't like all the craziness and dancing and all this other, dude, just be a pro. Be a pro. Dallas, you got a long way to go. Sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. You did this to yourself. Egos and all this. Next August, we're going to have to deal with this again. We them boys. Stop it. 4 playoff wins in 26 years. Not good. Not good for your standards, for your expectations. Step up your game, Dallas. That's all I can say. Step it up because you're falling behind. And if you're not, well, you're in the NFC East. You're going to get 6 wins a year at least handed to you. The San Francisco 49ers, look at scary team. I've said it all year. Kyle Shanahan does more with less than anyone out there. And right now, he doesn't have less. He has a lot. He's got great. Deebo Samuel, probably the best player in the NFL right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, people want to slam him. He makes poor throws, poor decisions. Okay, fine. But he sure knows how to convert a third down. Maybe can't throw the deep ball quite like Odell Beckham Jr. can. I'll say that. But he's been to a Super Bowl. He has another playoff win under his belt. He seems to be doing just fine. He looks like a Greek god. And, people want to slam him. I don't understand them wanting to move off of him for Trey Lance. I don't get it. But that's what's attractive in the NFL these days. We need punt returners to play quarterback. No. All right. How's that working for Kyler Murray? Josh Allen, massive giant man. I think he's going to eventually run into a buzzsaw too with the beatings he's taking. I think his body's going to deteriorate, and he will be done soon. In a few years anyway. He won't play into his 40s. I'll say that. Now, would you trade that for a couple Super Bowl titles? Probably indeed. Anyway, the San Francisco 49er defense, they know the pass rush and stopping the run. They are just getting after it. When the Rams went up 17-0 in week 18, I was happy but nervous because I've read this book before, even though it was McVay's first ever loss after trailing or leading going into halftime. That was an incredible game with the Rams and 49ers in week 18, and didn't get to comment on it because it took last week off. And yes, a lot of red shirts there at SoFi Stadium because there's a lot of front running fans who became 49er. None of these 49er fans are Giants fans in baseball. That's my thing. Just be who you are. I doubt all those people there are from the Bay Area. Maybe some of them born there, but most of them are, I would say a lot of them are LA fans, allegedly. But don't need to get into it. Look, at anytime the Niners play in LA, they're going to have more fans or a lot of fans than the Rams. That's just how it's going to be. It's a virus. The red wave is hopefully what we're going to see in November of 2022 here. But it's also that 49er just annoyance of fans and people. It's just, you need a quarantine after seeing all that and feeling that, and just 6 in a row now for the 49ers over the Rams. I can accept it. I accept the superiority that the 49ers have over the Rams. I grew up with it. There was a brief window in time when the Rams took over and dominated. Sean McVay got there, won a few more, and then Shanahan and the red and gold up there just have the Rams number. I can accept it. I don't like it, but I can accept it. I'm not surrendering. I want to beat those guys so bad, but their style, their physical bully ball, the way they run the ball, they get Deebo Samuel. I mean, not just Deebo Samuel, but think of the other guys that run the ball for the Niners. It seems like every year they got some different running back or a couple of them in there. It's not the play. It's not the backs. It's their culture. It's their system. Run. Knock in. It's a true physical football team. And at times you see that with the Rams. But when they play the 49ers, man, they get punched in the throat. Despise the Niners. I hate those guys. I hate them. And I get texts from all you alleged Southern California fans, 49er people. You're good people, some of you. Some of you are good people. And we all have our faults. We all do. And I try not to hold it against you. But the 49ers definitely own the Rams. Stan Kroenke has handed over the rights to the LA Rams, to those San Francisco 49ers, because they do own the Rams, at least recently. And the overall record the Niners have on the Rams is pretty high as well. So sometimes you swallow the pill, man. There's not much you can do. Am I used to losing as a Rams fan? Yes, I am. Losing to the 49ers? Yes, I am. Ooh, that one hurt. Like, it's nothing new. I don't like it, but we'll see what happens. It makes the victory sweeter, I guess. And maybe one day this century we'll see one. Love to see the Rams beat the Niners someday. It would sure be nice. The Niners have a tall task going to Green Bay, but you look at past few playoff games, past few conference championships and such. Ooh. Niners. They're at Lambeau this time. There for a while, it was up in San Fran. But that's a great rivalry too in the playoffs. A lot of great matchups in the Packers and the Niners. Again, two pretty iconic franchises. And can the Niners go on the road and beat the Green Bay Packers? Can they? I think it can. If Rodgers loses this game, the media is going to be up in arms. It's going to be absolute chaos. But we know what's crazy to think about is Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay, three of the NFC coaches. They were all on one staff together at one time in Washington. It's just crazy what they've all been able to do. And Shanahan's got to a Super Bowl. LaFleur's been close. Multiple 13-plus win seasons. McVay got to a Super Bowl. I mean, these are probably three of the three young elite coaches right now in the NFL. And probably one of those three will get to a Super Bowl here in a couple of weeks. Although Bruce Arians and the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have something to say about that. Buccaneers, man. Let's see. If the Rams pull a miracle in Florida and beat Tampa Bay, and if the Niners can defeat the number 1 seed Green Bay Packers, probably in the cold and the snow, then it would be the Rams and 49ers in the NFC Championship game at SoFi Stadium. One can dream. It terrifies me because it's the 49ers. And even though the Rams competed with them, it went wire to wire. It still scares me to death that could be a possibility, because I will never hear the end of it from the most annoying fan base in all of sports, the San Francisco 49er fans. If they beat the Rams to advance to a Super Bowl, I can't even, I don't even want to think about that. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we'll see. Well, let's get through this weekend first. Can the Rams beat the Bucs? I think they can. Let's look at the opening line here. Again, not a gambler by any means. Looks like Buccaneers are favored by 3 and Green Bay is favored by 6. Again, Tennessee, let's see, Cincinnati, it's probably the end for them, but who knows? Cincinnati at Tennessee on Saturday afternoon, and then 49ers at Green Bay on Saturday night. Rams at Packers at noon on Sunday, followed by the Bills and Chiefs at 3:30 on Sunday. What a stretch of games we got there. I got to tell you, if you're not a big NFL fan, this is the weekend to watch. 4 great games ahead. And I really do hope, Rams can deliver. Come on, guys. Let me wear this hat one more week. Although I'm not like, you ever notice some fans, it's hilarious. When the Niners are good, you see red and gold everywhere. And then, a few down years. And why is it that people do this? If you're a fan of a team, look, I've been a fan of some bad Rams times in my life. I still rock the gear. What is with people not wearing their team logos and gear when their teams are bad? What is that about? What kind of loyalty is that? Anyone can wear your Letterman jacket when your teams are doing well. This is just what I want to see. And I want to see, the whole 49er jersey with the LA Dodger hat thing. It's like, I talked about mirrors working. You don't look in the mirror and think that looks weird. You don't have an issue with that? How many Rams shirts with Giants hats do you see? That would look stupid, right? Anyway, I'm going to continue to say this. It's going to be every chance I get with this microphone. But anyway, Niners fans, it could be any fan, whoever you're a fan of, be proud of it. I mean, you can be embarrassed a little. That's part of being a fan. Get in line. But you still rock your colors. You wear your team's colors. And now, if you're fed up and you're done, throw your hat in the trash, fine. Commit to it. That's all I said. That's all I'm saying. All these people, I'm never watching them again. Yeah, okay. Next year, you'll be watching that team again and hoping and praying they win. But it's okay. Rock your team's gear in the off season. Let it breathe, man. You go 4-12, who cares? You're still a fan. Still a fan. So in summary today, high expectations. Be careful with them. You're due for a letdown. You may not get that second date if you have super high expectations. You need some expectations. You can't be like, oh, well, I'm not even going to, wear a collared shirt, or I'm not, look sloppy. Have a little pride. But, be careful with expectations. If you go in thinking you're everything, oh, I'm going to dominate. Yep, this is who I'm going to marry, blah, blah. Whoa. Settle down. There's a lot of factors here. Still need that umpire to spot the ball. Get out of the way. You know what I mean? All right. Enough analogies from me today. Tampa Bay. I'm going double upsets here. I'm going in the NFC. Rams are going to pull off a miracle in Tampa Bay, and the Niners are going to shock the Packers, setting up the SoFi Stadium NFC Championship rematch. Maybe I don't truly believe that's what will happen, but a man can dream. And at this time of life, I just turned 37. I can dream a little bit. Anyway, not sure we're going to have a show Friday. My goal is to have one. I'm going to sit down and do an interview here in the next few days and try to set up a few more. If anybody's interested, of course, let me know, just to talk anything, talk football, talk life, talk about my podcast. It could be anything. Repeat guests. Would love to have people back on. Always fun chatting with someone on Fridays. So as of now, my schedule is the same. I'm still working nights, but I will be switching, hopefully, if everything is accepted and I'm chosen for a new position at work. Hopefully things change and I'll be working mornings, and I will have the evenings free. So maybe a little more opportunities to record with people who have, kind of the regular work hours and such. But we'll make that all happen. If you're interested in coming on the pod, let me know. If you have a suggestion of a guest, let me know. If you want to tell me I'm dead wrong about stuff, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I took the last week off, guy. I needed a breather. Just needed it, man. After Christmas season and season 2 of the podcast getting under my belt, just like, okay, let's take a week off. It's okay to do that sometimes, and I may do that here in the next few months, even as I prepare for the big Real Hondo Prep podcast upcoming in August. Yeah, and keep this Get Home Safe podcast going. It may not be weekly. It may be once every couple of weeks. I'm going to try. I've said this before. It's a work in progress, and we'll just keep going with this thing as long as we can. But anyway, guys, enjoy the NFL games this weekend. Get your work done. Get those chores. Get those things done for the missus, for the kids and everything. Get it all out of the way, because there's some great football games this upcoming weekend. And a big win for the Rams. Cowboys, better luck next year as you continue into your decline into non-elite franchises. And Raiders, nice try. That's all I can say. All right, guys, that's it for today's episode of the Get Home Safe podcast, the first Tuesday of 2022. So weird to even say those words, but we'll be back hopefully Friday. If not, I'll be back Tuesday to recap the Rams loss and the other football games in moving forward. So playoff time, great time of year. Reach out to me. You guys know how to do that. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my email address, gethomesafepodcast@yahoo.com. Love to hear from you guys. So definitely reach out to me here in the new year, new season of the Get Home Safe podcast, season 3. Can't believe it's here, but it is, guys. Thanks for being patient, for bearing with me, for not missing me too much while I was away, but we'll keep this thing going as long as we can. Have a great week. We'll probably see you Friday. If not Friday, definitely on Tuesday. But guys, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or around in third base, get home safe.